Okay, now it's live. And Teams, it's already there. Okay, I will share it a little bit later. Yes, so just to let you know, I'm live on YouTube on this camera. This is Teams, and this is TikTok Live. I'm trying to reach everyone I can reach, where possible. Yes, so my name is Ezekiel, for those who we have not met or discussed before, and I will be stuck within this zone so that at least those who will be able to connect on Teams, they should be able to see me also on TikTok. Yes, so my name is Ezekiel Koga. I'm residing here in Kuopio, and I've also worked for 6 months. I was discussing with my brother. What's your name again? Juva? Druba. Yes, so I was discussing with them over there, and I was telling them I worked here at the Employment Services Office for about 6 months as the job tryout. Yes, so during the working, I saw the challenges that we have been going through as foreigners and also the opportunities. But not only here, I've been discussing with a lot of people, especially the entrepreneurs and of course some of employers. I just meet them and try to discuss with them like what's up with this problem of unemployment for internationals. Yes, though it's not a topic for today, we'll discuss some other time, but just to tell you why should you be here to discuss this with us. So what I came to learn is that first of all, now this is my personal opinion. The role of language, Finnish language, is so much critical, but it is not as huge factor when contributing to unemployment as it has been portrayed by many employers and other people. That's what I personally believe. And a few of the factors I can mention is that if the language is so much critical, why do we have a minister going to the Philippines and other places to look for people to come to Finland? Does it mean the Philippines in Philippines they speak better Finnish language than the people in Finland? Definitely no. Yes. So what I came to realize at the end of the day is that Finland is our customer. Finland is our customer. And you don't reach a point where you can blame a customer for not buying your product. We as the talents, we are sellers. So sometimes a customer may not buy your product because he doesn't like you. Sometimes he doesn't need your product. But it's your job as the seller to make sure that you know your customer and you know how to sell. That's how things go. So that's what I've learned. And so coming back now to the talents, I've realized that we don't need the help because as I was hired here, one of my tasks was to help people making CVs, sending applications, consultation or something like that. And looking at what I was doing, then I knew definitely I'm doing something which most foreign talents do not need. Most of the people who used to come here when I was here, they were coming here hoping they will get a connection. They just come and hope to connection, not like time to sit down and talk. That's why most people don't come here, because people, they don't have time to sit down and talk. They just want to go somewhere and get a job. That's why I say we don't need help in looking for jobs. We need help in, first of all, as a mental support. Somebody should tell us in the midst, because people are frustrated. We don't have the income. Really, life is frustrating here if you don't have a job. It's a new place. You don't have somebody to sit down and talk to, in the midst of your challenges. You don't have the network, some people to connect you to some job. So people are frustrated. That's the truth. That's why if someone has succeeded to secure a job, let's say cleaning or what, they may end up doing that job for 10, 20 years because there's no way out. You can't leave a small job which gives you an income, 2,000 euros, 4,000 euros a month, and say you are following your dream. So it's a real challenge. That's why I say we need mental support, but also we need an inspiration and motivation. Because I would say 90% of foreign talents in Finland, they are highly skilled and educated. Very few people, maybe those who came to Finland maybe through asylum seeking. Let's say, just an example. Let's take an example of people coming from Congo. You know what's going in Congo. It's rare somebody would go to school, let's say from Goma. Now, people from Goma, if they come here, they've never been to school, they've never had any time to develop any skill or talent, maybe they might not need anything. But 90% of people who came to Finland through education, through family, they are skilled in some area. But for some reason, when you just come to Finland and you find a few people who have been here before, let's say 5, 10 years before, they will tell you, you know, in Finland, forget about professional jobs if you're a foreigner. Forget about this. Why? Because they want Finnish language. So forget about it. Forget about it. So, yes, please.
Will your microphone work? I don't know. But anyway, I don't know this sort of format of your session, but if there's a Q&A, can we interrupt? Have
yes.
A discussion as we go?
Yes.
Okay, right. I've been here 25 years, 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
First week of January 2000. I was headhunted by Nokia from a startup in Dublin to come to Finland to work for Nokia. While I worked for Nokia, I went through the ranks and so on and so forth. I was actually told in Nokia, you can study Finnish, human resources will pay you to do that, but do not speak Finnish in the office. And they told me why. He said, we are an international company, our market is outside of Finland. A lot of our staff are undergraduates and they have no experience speaking English. We cannot put them into a business negotiation speaking rally Finnish, English. That's why. Now, of course, I don't work for Nokia anymore because that bubble burst. Now that bubble has burst, there are many, many, many ex-Nokians who are foreign, still in this country because they either had kids or bought a house. And they're pretty much screwed. Right? So basically we need to acknowledge that the markets that these companies are chasing are no longer in Finland. This is an economy that is basically publicly funded. And it's also an unbalanced economy. There are 7 companies that manage the stock exchange. If any of them go down, the whole stock exchange goes down. Anything that gets traction is bought up by an American company. Volt is an example for that.
Yes.
For example. Now, the European Union wants us to be kind of like a bit more inward. Now, there are 800 municipalities in Finland, and there's 18 regions.
You mind appearing on camera?
I haven't fixed my hair. But there are 18 regions. Now, we can't collaborate within 18 regions. There's no way we can collaborate with 27 nations of the European Union.
Yes.
Now, this is not related to...
Yes, I get your point.
Right?
Yes.
Now, I got statistics this morning from Yle newspaper that said there was something like 340,000 unemployed people in Finland as of now.
Yes.
Right? And of that, there's 9% nationally, 8.9% unemployed. In Kuopio region, I think it's closer to 11.5%.
Okay.
Right? So let's assume that it is definitely no less than that. Right? Of that, how many of those people are actually foreigners? Right? So when we look at, for example, foreigners, which is what you're looking at today,
yes.
we need to just look at this number, figure out how many of them are actually foreign. Right?
Very good point, yes.
And then we also need to look at what's called aspirations capability theory.
Yes, okay.
And you mentioned asylum seekers.
Yes.
Right? So basically you can't just group everyone who's foreign into the same box.
That's true.
Because we all have different wants and needs.
Different backgrounds, yes.
Right? You mentioned cleaners.
Yes.
So I have a guy that's from Kenya, and I had to help him for 2 years to get a residence permit after he was taken from Kenya to study in a university here. He has a debt of 30,000 euros. And he couldn't get a job in the skill that he was acquiring from that university. He feels incredibly pissed off.
That's true. Most people are.
Why didn't you come to Kenya and tell me you needed a cleaner? Because I could have come to Finland and worked as a cleaner and saved 30,000 euros and 4 years of my life.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So it's not only that there's an unbalanced economy, your educational system, or our educational system, because I've been here long enough, our educational system is unbalanced too.
Yes.
I don't know how many hairdressers have popped up locally here. Basically, there's only a certain amount of market that any economy can absorb. If everybody wants to study something that's really trendy like
Please
this,
allow me to turn this around. At least some people have to see you. Some people have to see you.
Yeah,
If you don't mind.
The same question is for musicians. They are being produced too much.
yeah,
A lot of them work somewhere at the shop as a cashiers or whatever,
Yes.
or what anything else. The same problem. Yes, I acknowledge that.
If you can take something that you're incredibly passionate about and turn it into a business, that is wonderful.
Yes.
Because it's not really like working, is it? It's just every day is fun, you're doing what you love.
I have done that. It's a lot of work. I think it's a lot of work.
So gentlemen, that's really an interesting. Let me jump quickly to the presentation which I intended to give today.
Please, yes.
Yes, and then we will have more time of discussion. So I think now I will do my best to finish my presentation in about 15 minutes, and then today we will also introduce our DEJU Kuopio, and you also will give few words about that, and then after that we'll have good time. So I will use about 15 minutes, and maybe you can, how much time would you need? Maybe 10, 15 minutes?
Yes.
Yes, and then after that we will have about 45 minutes of having this discussion. So just wrapping up, my point was that as foreign talents in Finland, we need more of a mental support, we need inspiration, we need motivation, because we have everything it takes. For me, I only regard language, Finnish language, as the platform, the same way as you would buy maybe a phone charger. Compatibility, language is there for compatibility, and it's the process which, if you are really integrated into the society, in one way or another, you will master the language after some point. That's what I personally believe. So language, I would not say, it's like, maybe I can give you an example. If you're going to buy some milk at a particular store, you can't say, I could not buy the milk because, who is this calling out? I cannot buy the milk because I have to walk to the store. Walking to the store is part of the process, and walking to the store is what I compare to the language. Of course, it's challenging. You may be hurt on your knee. Maybe you need a car, but it's some work which you definitely need to do. So that's the language. But the factor you get the milk or not is whether it's there or not. Is it the one you needed or not? So we need somebody to tell us how can we really sell our talents to the Finnish society. Sorry, I have to ask this guy. Hello, this is Ezekiel. Okay, please, come inside. Come inside. Okay, someone is coming to get you. Okay, please speak with him. Okay, sorry, it was someone who is coming here. Yes.
Streaming out, so they
could give
visitors.
visitor Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Well, this happens.
It'd be more productive if you were just sitting in the waiting room waiting for a meeting. At least you could work on something.
Okay, it looks like I'm connected. And here, I will try to check. Sorry for the inconvenience.
I didn't know that you had the same.
Yeah, I didn't think as well. I should have thought about this. Okay, so
Can we close the window
there? This one?
Yeah, close it because
I think it's very warm.
It's making this meeting.
Okay. Maybe this one.
Close.
Yeah, you can keep open the other one because it's very warm. Yeah, so we will discuss more. Let me just go straight. I will open the Teams again. We'll join and let me share. Your speakers are muted. Unmute, and then let me share my PowerPoint. And okay, I forgot to turn on this. All right, so what I will be discussing today is the power.
We have to mute. Connection for the. Just take it out.
Okay,
Yes.
and
And then you have to mute the
output.
output there.
How do I mute? Oh, let me.
Yes, this is the question. Okay.
Okay.
General alarm.
Okay. Okay. How are we now? I believe we are good. All right, and this is the wrong presentation.
Sorry, Jonas, Jonas.
Okay, now it's good. This was supposed to take only part, but I have to continue now. Yeah, so the point of discussion today was the power of events in growing our network fast. I mentioned in the beginning that the biggest challenge we are facing as foreigners, of course, there's a language, which is being mentioned by most employers. But what I can see that the biggest challenge is the lack of network. You just came to Finland. You don't know anyone. There's no anyone to recommend you because you just came to Finland. You need maybe to stay for some time. Yes, and of course there are other factors. And one of the easiest ways which I believe to grow any network is to engage in events. Either organize one yourself or go and participate events which are organized by other people. Of course, I will discuss more as time is going on. So this is an interesting quote which I've been hearing from most of motivational speakers, which says, of course, I put it in my own words, like one way to become great is to act what other great people do. You know, some other people would say, fake it until you make it, like not in being fake, but fake it by acting as if you were rich. Maybe you will be rich someday, but if you act in some other ways, then you can fall into that way. So my point is that to come up with what we are doing today, I had to sit down and think what other big people are doing. For example, big corporations like Microsoft or even Google. How do they? How are they able to sell their talents, their products to the community? And I realized they are using different marketing channels to reach the people, which is what I'm about to suggest to us as foreign talents in Finland. Like, let us start to treat Finland or Finnish society as a customer, not as somebody who is supposed to, you know, like a parent, I would say, because for now we can say sometimes we want the Finnish government or the Finnish people to give us favor, but we are not treating them as customers. So this is how I've been taking this. But let me share very briefly my journey here in Finland. When I came to Finland in 2016, the first thing which I did, actually in 2017, I was able to become the president of an African association in UNSO. And during that time of my presidency in that African association, I was able to organize these events, as you can see. So we had something called the African Cultural Night. I will show you the pictures. And then I had another event. Actually, let's just go to the pictures. I will come back to this. So this picture you see is one picture from the event, this African Cultural Night, where we as an African association prepared an event, but everyone was coming to that event. We had some different groups performing during that event. It was an event which is happening only one time per year. So we had we were showcasing the cultural clothes, not just African. Some people were showcasing cultural dresses even from other European countries. So it was really interesting. This is an event which we co-organized with the Chinese community in Yoensu as well. So the integration was becoming so much effective. And we were close, and we had agreed to prepare many events with the Chinese community in Yoensu. And this guy here was the president of the Chinese community. I had very good communication with him. And you can see, this was, so in that event, they also performed a lot of things. They sang, they did the carrot thing. I don't know even what is this, Tai Chi or carrot. I don't know. But it was interesting. This is another event which I organized in Mikeli. In Mikeli, after going there, then I realized also the same problem, isolation among the international people, or foreigners, I would say. So I had to establish the so-called Mikeli International Community, and in that community, believing the power of events, I started also organizing the events, and this is one of the events which I organized over there. As you can see, so in this event, I had invited one person, I don't remember his name. He is the secretary of the MCU, Mikeli Consortium University, something like that. I don't remember his name. And we had also a panel discussion. So this guy is this on my left, is the one whom I invited. Now you cannot see him properly. I will have to learn how to do these things. Last time it worked very nice. Yes, and we had a panel discussion, and afterwards we had some question and answers. And also after coming to Kuopio, I organized this event. Few of you who managed to come there, you saw what happened. It was really great, a great event, and I was discussing also how we can overcome the problem of unemployment for the internationals. And I had some people showed up to help me out, and it was incredible. Most of them, they really got excited and wanted to be part of this in the long run. So without going so further, I will just discuss very briefly what are the challenges. Of course, I discussed them in the beginning. I mentioned lack of network. I mentioned isolation. As foreigners, I don't know if it's just environment or it's just the Finnish culture. It forces people to be isolated from the society. So we are isolated from the Finnish society, but also we are isolated from ourselves. So we are living in very small bubbles. Only your few friends, 1, 2, or 3 friends, are the ones you would meet every day and discuss with them and do the stuff. But we don't go out and meet people. Not like there are no activities. There are activities out there. But for some reason, people are being forced to live like that. Of course, Finnish language again, which I will not discuss more. So what do I think is the solution, especially in growing your network? Number one, as foreigners, we have to learn how to do the community engagement. How can we engage with the communities here in our area where we are living? But number two, events organization, I already discussed this. Either you can organize your own events or you can attend other events. My own personal witness is that despite being very new in all places, Yoensu, Mikeli, and even here, but immediately after organizing an event, I saw a lot of people trying to contact me. Some of them became interested to the extent that they wanted to be part of the program. Some of them just wanted to discuss, to know more. They saw maybe there could be potential opportunities in the future. So it's like I was a magnet very quickly, and people were willing to connect. Of course, they were not opening up like, okay, maybe we'll give you a job. No one said that. But you can see the desire for them to see maybe something can turn out better. And this is the opportunity which we lack as internationals. I may liken this to somebody who is selling in a shop. But you're selling, everything is behind this wall, and people are passing here. no one will come and ask you, so how much is this behind the wall which I cannot see? No one will do that. But people may be interested. It's until when there is a sign for them to know, okay, this guy is selling these things, then somebody may come and ask. So for us as foreigners, most of people in the society, Finnish society, they have no idea about our talents. You could be an expert from your home country, but how can your neighbor in your next seat know that you are a designer? Unless you tell him. How can he know? There's no way. And even if he meets an opportunity which needs a designer, there's no way he would contact you because he doesn't know you. And that's the situation. So we have to find a way where we can create an attention easily. And how do you create an attention? For sellers, now excuse me for this example, but I would say for some of the businesses, for example, they would use half-naked women because it's easy to capture the attention of people. And when you capture attention of people, either on the good side or bad side, for the good side, people, they will like it and then they will want to know what's behind that. For the bad side, of course, people will start to complain and start to discuss on the social media, but the way you discuss, you give that company what they wanted. They just wanted to become popular, to be known more. So similarly, for us, what we need to do is also to find a way to create attention, make some noise. How can we steal the spotlight so that when people look at us, we can start announcing, guys, I'm good in this, I'm good in that, I can do this, I can do that. We need to come up with that. And I believe events is one of the places where people can come, just like you came in this program. It was easy to bring you here because of this program. Otherwise, I don't believe if it would be easy for me. I would just sit you, I meet you on the road, and then I'm like, please, can I tell you what I'm good at? I'm good at photography, I'm good at this. You'd be like, please, I'm going somewhere, please. Can you leave me alone? But it's easy to make people sit down and give you the whole hour or the whole 30 minutes to listen to you. So that's one of the examples. But another way of creating integration or growing your network easily is through service provision. You connect easily to the people that you are serving. You are giving them services. But also through volunteering and internships, you know the employers and stuff like that. But last is getting a job. When you get a job, actually there is this saying which says the hardest job to get is always the first one. Why? Because before you get the first job, you're out of the network. No one is knowing you. No one trusts you if you really can do it. But when you get a job, people start to know you, people start to know your capabilities, and then you are starting to be needed. I know some people now who are being hired, for example, in the nursing. Let's take an example of nursing. We know how demanding it is. But you would not believe me if I tell you there are some people who have been looking for a job. They have graduated as nurses, but they can find a job anywhere. But at the same time, I know some people in the nursing industry who have to do 3 jobs in one day, 2 or 3. And they are being asked, they are being begged by their bosses, please, can you come? They will tell her, please, boss, I have another shift somewhere, please. I will give you 50 euro bonus. But we have somebody outside who is looking for a job. So when you get a job, then you connect and people start to need you. So how can we create an impact through events, or how can we grow a network through events? As I said, number one, this is an easy way to create attention. People pay attention so much quickly when they hear it's an organized event. People pay attention, whether it's for barbecue or some performance or anything, people pay attention. And if they have time, they will come. But number two, after creating an attention, you have to create an impression. Most of the time, after you have screamed, and a lot of people have turned around to look at you, what are you doing? If they realize what you're doing is not that impressive, they will keep on doing what they have been doing before. But this is your opportunity to create an impression so that they will stick sitting in their seats or watching at your products or services that you have been providing. Most of the marketing books that I've read, and of course some speakers that I've listened, they will tell you have to use the first 30 seconds to make sure that you make somebody listen to you. You have to use the first 30 seconds to impress. And likewise, as you create an event, you have to quickly find a way to impress the people who are listening. This is another assignment that we need to do as foreigners in Finland. How can we create an impression after we have succeeded capturing the attention of people? But number three, we have to make sure that we contribute to the society. As of now, what I personally believe is that I would say most of people I have interacted with, they have reached to the extent where they don't believe most of the foreigners would do anything tangible for the society here, because they don't think we are here to contribute. Most of people I have interacted with, they think foreigners are here to reap the benefits offered by Finland. So this, for some reason, creates also some friction. And this friction, it's easy for people to stereotype the whole group and put it all on the left side. Yeah, but if we can use this benefit, create an event, make an impression, and then contribute something, then we will start to make the difference. And how can we contribute? We can contribute through the event. For example, the content in the event should be somehow positive, but also from the event. For example, having some fun or visiting some school. I visited, for example, Lumi Primary School. Is it Lumi or Lumit? In the city center, and I discussed with the vice president there. And at the end of the discussion, she agreed that she is so much interested if the international talents in Kuopio would have some time to go and teach their students about different things. So in our discussion, for example, we discussed about business. I said, yes, of course we teach our students, but if we get some people to just come and tell them about entrepreneurship, tell them about the mental health, tell them about this. We have, for example, graduates who are doing international business. We have public health. We have people doing Internet of Things. Now we have the artificial intelligence. Somehow we need some people who have graduated to go and talk to the students about the artificial intelligence. What are the dangers of artificial intelligence? And in Finland, students, very small boys, they have mobile phones. You cannot find that in Tanzania. So we can see the potential danger of the internet. Somebody needs to tell these children about the cybersecurity. So these are the opportunities that we have to contribute. But also consistency in organizing events. And last but not least, we have to know how to sell. Selling is an art. Selling is an art, and we need to learn and we need to master. How do you sell yourself? I learned about selling from Brian Tracy. I love to read, by the way. So I read one book which has been written by Brian Tracy, Psychology of Selling. And in that book, he told the steps that you can successfully sell anything. I did an experiment in Ezekiel, and it worked. I only went just to try out to one of the K market. I was really broke. And I said, I have to find a way to do something. So I went to 1K market and I tried to follow the manuals written in this Psychology of Selling, and it worked. Before I went there, most people say, no, you cannot not sell anything in Finland. First of all, you're an African. Finns don't trust Africans. And of course, there was so many things around. But I say, let me go. So I went and I talked to the manager. And within the first meeting, they agreed to everything. They said, please, you can bring your products and you can sell. It was up to me now. I didn't have enough capital to do what it needed to be done in order to start selling them my products. Because I actually, the plan was to sell them some cookouts, some cookies and stuff like that. And I needed now to start purchasing the machines, go to the, is it hospital, health department, so they come and inspect. And all of this, they demand some money. I didn't have any of that. That's why I could not go on with that. But what I learned is that not all of the time it's about people just not wanting you for who you are. Sometimes you need to be better at selling yourself. So what do we need in order to start organizing events? Of course, we need to have a team. We need to do how to do the communication. A team doesn't have to be 10 people, for example. The events I showed you, of course, the first one, I had a very good team, very big one, which was with African Association. But when I went to Mikkeli, I was merely the only one. Everyone was very far during the preparation. Most they didn't believe if it is really going to happen. But it did happen, and it was great. But also when I came to Kuopio, I almost organized the event myself. Of course, at the last minute, some guys like my brother here showed up, and we did. But I almost did it myself. So we just need a team. You need to do some follow-ups and communication, but also you need some equipment and operators where necessary. But last but not least, finances, which is not very necessary. I don't get any funding by doing this. No one is paying me to do this. Of course, I'm working day in, day out to look for opportunities, and Yuso is really helpful. He's giving me all possible options to make sure that we get money in order to make this thing more impactful. Yeah, but for now, no money, but we cannot allow challenges or lack of finances to push us back, because this is another thing which we have been telling each other, like, don't do any job if they don't pay you. Some people have refused to do internship. For example, in this office, they were paying people for internship from last year backwards. But from this year, if I remember correctly, they accept people for internship, but no payment anymore. So some people say, no, we cannot do that, which is really bad, of course. Should I say, is it bad? It's really tough. But for some reason, you have to sit down and calculate, like, okay, for me, if I don't go, what are my benefits and what am I losing? And if I go, what will I gain and what will I lose? And after you weigh in, you can choose one which pays the most. And I think coming to do an internship, even if they are paying you, if you don't have any other better option, then for me, I would just come and do it. Because from here, you get the things which I mentioned before. You get the network, you verify your ability to the people, you get the trust. After that, you at least you have stepped up. Now you're in the position where you can be recommended even more. And events are biggest opportunities for the students. I will wrap up very soon. So events are very big opportunities for students. Why am I saying so? When I was about to organize the first event when I moved to Kuopio, the first milestone for me was to get a place. I don't have any ties with UF or Savonia, and I was supposed to pay for the facilities to do. I was supposed to pay. I think even you go to the library, they have the meeting room over there. You have to pay 50 euros for 2 hours. Councillor Isopisto, you have to pay, I think, also about 50 euros per hour, or something like 60 euros, or something like that. Yes, please.
Just on that particular note.
Yes.
I've actually spoken to some restaurant owners, and I've said, look, if I have a meeting, can I use your space? And they said, yeah.
Fantastic.
So for example, there's a restaurant in the Nina shopping center, I think. It used to be called Brew, now it's called Gubo.
Okay.
Laura and Pia are the entrepreneurs. They have a private meeting room with glass and there's a screen and stuff. I said, yeah, you can just book it. Tell us when you're coming in.
Fantastic.
So you can get spaces for free.
Fantastic.
Is it free, that restaurant?
If you ask the ladies and just say, I've actually said, look, I network with a lot of people. Sometimes if we want to get together, you call it events, I call them meetups.
Yes.
They're kind of informal, it's just a bunch of like-minded people
who are
either into the same thing or we're trying to chase the same dream. So yeah, you can do these things really cost effectively.
Fantastic.
And then, I know you're wrapping up, but maybe we can work this into your closing. So
yes.
In any demographic, like for example, the city of Kuopio, there's only a fixed amount of people that can only attend a certain amount of events.
Yes.
Now, if everybody in Kuopio had an event, there would be no one to go to.
That's true. That's very true.
So rather than creating your own event, why don't you find an event that actually suits your needs?
Yes.
Now, Kuopio Rock is an event, and that comes once a year, and then there's Kuopio Wine Festival, that's once a year.
Yes.
So, but we're not talking about those kinds of events. We're talking about, you know, social networks
Yes.
and clubs.
Yes.
Now, I guarantee you, before everybody leaves this room, after this meeting, I can find something that exists that they can actually just tap into.
Fantastic.
You know, so rather than, you know, reinventing the wheel, you know, just find something that aligns with what it is you're after. And it might be like, for example, I volunteer in organizations. I teach people how to fix their bicycles. Now, I meet many, many people there, and the same people might only come twice, just when they want to fix their bicycle, but they know it exists. I think you posted something a few weeks ago about a hack lab.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know that exists.
That's true.
Right? Now, you might have something that you want to get fixed, or something you want to build.
Yes.
But you might not go there every week, but you know it exists.
Yes, yes, yes.
So I'm not trying to rain on your parade, but
I get your
but I
point.
think like So I can actually interview everybody in this room before they leave, and I guarantee you I can point you in a club or a group or a network that will actually kind of align with what it is you're trying to do.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you so much for the insight here.
But I'm sure you're aware of this too, right?
Yes, I am. Actually, I've also gone through the restaurants. I was on the way. This was half the point. Yes, yes. So my point was that, of course, that was an example, of course. My point was that as students, you have free access to the facilities which are equipped. As a student, I think if you're studying at UF, you don't need to pay for anything to reserve the now, what's that place? How do you call it? The main lobby, the lobby, for example, at Snellmania with the microphones and everything. You don't need to pay for anything. As a matter of fact, you are just a student, you have the right to use it. But for me, I need to pay if I want to use that place. There are many facilities which you just need to reserve. That is the big benefit you have as a student, which you can use right now at the moment. Yeah, but also you have access to other students. This is the network which you have, which after your graduation, you will have to work to get the network, which you have in the class. Those 20 people, if you use them well through your social media, they will help you to grow your network really, really fast. But if you wait until your graduation, you're going to have to work manually to get them back to the network. You have access to the staff. Also, this is another network. But also, most of the staff, they are responsible in organizing events or something like that. If they see you organize an event over there, it's easy for them to call you to help out when they're organizing their events, which could be another channel for your growth. So here are some of our future plans, which I'm looking forward to implement via Talent Mindset and, of course, through this Kuopio Talents Group. I'm looking forward to have the monthly events. These monthly events will be small events. Examples you have just mentioned, like meetups, of course. And when I say to organize, it doesn't mean all of them, they have to be our own events, of course. And that's the very important topic you brought up. And I've been discussing, for example, with Panostamo. They're organizing a lot of events. I've been discussing with them also. I've been discussing with, even with this office here, some of the events, if we can collaborate with them. But I've been in contact with different groups. So we can have small events which are not unofficial. For example, for barbecue, swimming, jogging sometimes. We can do events which could involve visiting other schools or other institutions, primary school, hospitals, and even prisons sometimes. But also quarterly events, looking forward to have these quarterly events which we will use for local talent display. It could be performance, and it's like with the stage and some presentations. But also looking forward to have yearly events which will be bigger events where we can invite big people. That's why I put the word celebrities here. Like we can try to call some people from Helsinki and to come and do some performance or presentation. But also looking forward to, of course, the biggest role for these events is to find a way to expose the talents which resides in the international community. This is the biggest motive that I'm having here. And so what do you need to do as a talent? Number one, you need to show interest by active participation. Yeah, what I've learned in Finland and I like to adapt is that no one will come and force you to do something. If you're interested in something, you have to show it by being active and by showing up actively. If you don't show up, people leave you out. This is different in my country. In my country, if people want you into something, you will get there. They will try to find a way to force you there. Otherwise, you may have some consequences. But number two, plan ahead what you want to expose, what you want to sell as a talent. But number three, help to spread the word. As he said, there are some places which we don't know, like he mentioned, Hapanostamo, and about other events, for example. There are many events which are organized for the international community. Even here, I was called to help out with Connections, one of the events. And when I came to help, I realized it was an event which was meant for the international people. Of course, unfortunately, it was announced using Finnish language. So I think automatically most international people are like, this is not for us. And so from that, the only people who showed up were the people who are supposed to be in the panel discussion. They were the only people who showed up. I don't know how many people showed up in teams. Maybe some people showed up also in teams. But we needed to spread the word for events like that, because that is how we connect to the communities, and that's how we connect to ourselves. But also show up more regularly. I know we have a lot of things to do as foreign talents. In Finland, you have to find a way to work. You have to do your world driving every day. But at some point, you have to think and know that you have to take some deliberate decisions if you want to break a chain. And for me, as an example, you know, I've done a cleaning job when I graduated. I couldn't find any professional job, so I did a cleaning job, and this is what was keeping me in Mikkeli. At some point, I had to make a decision to cut the cycle, because after you get an income, you get expenses, and if now you want to channel back to the stream where you wanted to be, you have to cut the income, because you cannot use the same time if you're employed. And to cut, that's where the pain will come. Yes, but as a student, anyway, as a student, you have an opportunity to start, you know, aligning these things equally. You go on with your studies, you look for a job, but also you. Yes, please.
What was your education background in Finland?
It was physics, I would say. I did master's degree in photonics.
Photonics?
Yes, you know photonics?
Yeah, I heard something about it.
Yeah, it's like optics, but optics is now the way I would classify. Optics is like physics, which is defining light as a wave. But for photonics now, we are defining light as a particle.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how can you, you started in photonics, then now working in this sector, so how can you move into this? As far I heard that in Finland, if I study in a specific field, I have to work on that field, or?
You don't have to, except maybe if you are looking for to be hired, they will ask for some qualification. But if you want to work independently, no one will limit you. You can.
The only thing you have to do is die.
Okay, so do I need any specific courses or some like some courses or some?
Yes, for most of the jobs to be hired by employers in Finland, you need to have some qualification. If you want to be hired in the media, for example, I like to talk on these TikTok videos and so. But if I would want to be hired by a media company, I'm going to have to do some media course. I need to have some certification. That's what I've learned.
Would it be fair to say, if I can interpret this?
Yes.
So, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
Ezekiel is promoting this as a means to an end, right? So, for example, as a photonics engineer, which I did not know, thanks for sharing.
Thanks.
So, by promoting yourself somehow in a network, in a group, in an event, you're sharing with the group what it is you do.
Yes.
It's a bit random. Maybe someone might show, oh, I know this company that's looking for a photonics engineer.
That's
And
it.
Somehow
That's
these,
it. Yes.
These connections might come, but they won't come at home watching television or playing PlayStation. You have to get out there to get known.
Yes.
So I don't think Ezekiel is saying that everybody needs to become a social media guru and create your own platform and stuff. This is a means
Yes.
to an end. So, for example, what are you studying, or what's your faculty, what's your thing?
I'm studying in IoT in Savonia, but
Right.
as I shared with you that I work in telecommunication media,
Yes.
advertising company for 5 years in my country. So I have keen interest on this field. But I also searched for this kind of position in Finland. There is a requirement of language, or sometimes some specific courses or something that I have to do in Finland that I have not done yet.
Okay.
That's why I asked that how can I, if I study in IoT, how can I work in advertising company for any media company or
Okay.
something,
Okay.
as I work in this field for a couple of years in my country.
Okay. I see.
That was my actually,
Yes. But did you get the answers?
yeah, I have got the answer. Thank
Okay,
you.
but we can discuss more after this. So for me, sorry, I took more time than I promised. You saw if you can also talk a little bit about DEJU.
Yes, can you invite Daminara in to the session?
Yes, I will
Probably
check.
drop down because of the internet connection dropped down, and maybe
Yes, I dropped in, okay, but he should be able to join through the same
he
link.
was waiting there. He messaged me. Anyway, maybe.
Do you have a LinkedIn profile?
Okay.
Just got the phone and my laptop.
How chat people.
This like in a big picture like this.
Oh,
Now we have
okay. So how do I add speaker view?
How long have you been here?
Sorry? What can I ask if today's topic is photography filmmaker?
Yes, this is what he's coming to discuss. Yes. Are you going to use the laptop? No.
do you
Okay.
have the presentation, something about us? Do you have a slide about the DEJU?
No, I don't have
Can
any.
you
I don't
put
have
the
any.
beginning of the
That clip you
pilot?
shared.
Yeah, can
Yeah,
you
yes,
put
yes,
the-
sure.
Just to show there. Okay. My grandfather was an immigrant. He didn't cope with a lot of Finnish. And that's maybe, probably, I became a troubadour and started to do some songs also in English. Okay, hello, my name is Juuso Happonen. My grandfather was an immigrant from my mother's side. He came to Iisalmi over 100 years ago. And he was one of the rare persons coming from somewhere else in Iisalmi that time. At the moment I'm a troubadour, songwriter, I perform, and I'm also a producer in a cooperative called Kulttuurikeinu. Keinu is a swing. Kulttuurikeinu. We are 11 members in the cooperative. We are not entrepreneurs personally, but we have an enterprise. So you can start doing entrepreneur things in a cooperative without taking the risk to be an entrepreneur yourself. You don't have to put up a personal company. You can join a cooperative, and if you are a member in the cooperative and there are more than seven or more persons, you can still get the unemployment benefits. That's something I want you to put somewhere. Note, if you don't have a possibility to put up a company yourself, put up a cooperative. We, culture workers, artists, were like kind of it was a must for us after the Sipilä Hallitus took away the possibility to work through these kind of, how do you say, palkkiopalvelut, the services that put a bill about your work.
Like an UCO system?
Yeah, that's right. And that's called kevyt yrittäjyys, the light entrepreneurship, which in a way falls in between a real entrepreneur and someone who's doing the work with the verokortti as an employed person, and you don't get the benefits from either of these if you work through UCO. The UCO system, or this kind of system, is good for someone who has a monthly work and wants to grab some more than butter on the table, we say, like to get goods with no risks. Okay, but I'm here because we are talking about the DEJU. It's like deja vu, but it's DEJU Kuopio, and it's called Meidän Kuopiomme on kansainvälinen. Our Kuopio is international. I popped to meet Damilare from Nigeria in November, in an occasion where he was presenting his art of doing films. And I grabbed to him, hello, can we talk later? This is my telephone number, and we changed numbers and we talked. because I got interested in him. My expertise in songwriting and in audio technology, in studio work with voices and music. And I've been a long time interested in doing something together with films or something like that. So he was glad about it, and meanwhile I was having a gig. You came to that occasion with your daughter, Ezekiel, and you started to take videos about me, and you pushed the video, your camera to your daughter, and you were sitting there.
My son.
Floor, your son. You
Yeah.
were sitting there, and he was filming like this. And then you came to me, which nobody does. Hello, I took some videos. Would you like to see them? I said, gladly, because I never get to film myself when I'm doing the work. I concentrate on the work of a performer, and therefore I was very glad about that, and we changed contacts. And then somehow in TikTok I dropped to your videos about Talents Kuopio, and I think in connection of all this I had the idea, hey, we got to do a video series about both immigrant talents of cultural sector, like content creators, artists, people who make work at the culture section, the immigrants, and the Finnish guys. And we have a plan to make 10 videos in which in each video there are two persons, one immigrant and one Kuopiolainen guy or lady, like getting together and getting to know and coming up with the video. And we applied this to be a part of the Kuopio 250 years celebration, and we got it. So we are accepted to that program, but we still have to find money to do it. So we are. The main thing is not to do it from your back skin, as we say in Finnish, to do art from your back skin, not to get paid. But this is our main goal, to get 20 persons to 10 videos and then to publish them. Kuopio, Business Kuopio, and all the people are willing to get it out. So if there are people amongst you or your friends that do work on the art or culture sector or the content creation, like creative branches, so please contact us. And
I can play it.
yes, and Damilare is one of us. He's online, I think.
Not yet.
He's not yet. Okay. Anyway, so this is our plan for the spring. This I wanted to have.
So what will be the specification of video? Like which subject, which thing you will focus on the video?
I'm telling your question again here because you don't have the mic.
What do you want to show in the video?
What we want to show in the video, we want to show 20 professionals of the creative sector, which are, half of them are immigrants and half of them are Finnish or local living here. So we just want to lift up 20 professionals of that sector out. And with that, we want to tell that meidän Kuopiomme on kansainvälinen. Because the international culture, the internationality in Kuopio is here, has been a long time here, but it's somewhere here. And it's a positive thing that we have an international Kuopio. The university has brought it a long time ago. Before university, this town was very international in the end of 1800 century, 150 years ago. This was very international. We were still under Russian, but the borders to Europe through Russian were open. There were many entrepreneurs who came from Europe to put up businesses here. So, and they spoke 3 languages here: Russian, Swedish, and Finnish, plus I think some other languages too. So this, did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Great. Any
It
other?
sounds like it could be quite dark.
Dark?
Yeah, I mean, as you probably know, I mean, I believe that there can't be great art without great pain and suffering, you know, you really, right? So the story that a creative artist might have and their struggles, they can be quite bleak. Because I know you guys,
Yes.
creative artists don't
Yes.
get like the acknowledgement and the reward, financial, for the efforts that they put into their creative arts. And if
Yes.
you put your, it's like, you know, you really have to put your heart on your sleeve. If you write songs and poetry or really great art, there's a lot of pain and passion in it.
Yes, that's true.
I would imagine that creative artists, if you're interviewing them, they might be kind of like voicing their frustrations. It's not partly like their journey and this is what I do when I write songs or write great art or I write poetry, but it's like their challenges doing that. That's going to be pretty bleak, and I don't think it's going to look really great for some of those.
In a video. Okay,
Yeah,
there
I
was
can imagine, right?
there was a guy here. I'm telling shortly because we don't have the mic there.
Sorry, yeah.
That did you say that probably it's really hard to get into the video the pain of the artist
Yeah.
doing things because they normally necessarily don't get paid or they have to struggle to get the art out.
Yes.
It's possible, but this video is more like a show up or like a showcase or a meeting. It's not a deep interview for either of them. It's going to be short, like 15-20 minutes max, and then we deal it in pieces which we deliver through all kinds of social media. It's just a lift up of the idea of being international, the international Kuopio, or our Kuopio is international. Did I
Yes,
somehow?
thank you.
That's good. Great. Any other ideas?
I don't know. I'm kind of just trying to figure out exactly what maybe I'm lost somehow.
Yes.
Yeah, on the half Finnish and half internationals that you talked about in the video stuff. Yeah. He asked the question, but I didn't maybe quite get the explanation. So you're getting several professions, right? And to showcase, is that maybe what they have or what they had before then or something? Maybe I'm not getting it exactly.
We're choosing 10 immigrants
10, yeah.
and 10 people from Kuopio side, and we don't know exactly what will come out.
Okay.
From
Yeah,
the people.
maybe
It depends on the
if I can
person. Yes,
add.
you
Yeah,
can
if
add, of
I'm
course.
also a
Yes.
part of the
Yes.
team. The biggest motive behind this thing is to, like you said, to help the international talents be exposed.
Okay.
Yes. So, for example, they did a project with Damirali. This is a guy from Nigeria. Now he's in Teams. I think if we will succeed, maybe we'll also speak for about 1 or 2 minutes. Yes, and they did this an interview just as like a sample. Yes, so he was telling about himself, what talents does he have, something like that. So that's one of the things. Other things would be to have some interviews with different people, some meetups,
Get connection.
like
Get
this
connecting.
one
Yes.
with people who are being interviewed. So something like that.
Okay.
Yes, and the good thing is he's having a background in this videography, filming things. Also, Damirali.
Yes.
Yes, so there could be many other projects behind that. So, for example, Damirali is now working on to produce his short film. He has been wanting to do this for some time now. Of course, he's looking for resources. It's very hard to do these things without money. Yes, but for some reason you have to break through the wall. Yes, so he's been working on this, and if for some reason we come together, maybe we will make it easier to reach through this target and expose our talents. And talents can be exposed in 2 ways. Number one, by discussing in the programs, but number two, by actually contributing in the project. You actually, if you are you know how to do the graphic design, then you may do it. Someone may ask who is doing these designs, and then we may lead it to you. If you are a filmmaker, then you can do the editing and stuff like that. Yeah, so in 2 ways. Yeah, that's very little I wanted to add. Maybe I will try to connect Damirale if he can.
Let's put this first so that it might not
Okay.
out. Very good.
Yes, Damirale, would you be able to speak for 1 minute or so? Please turn on your video if you can hear me. Okay, Damirale is here. Now I hope it will not make a noise.
Let's hope.
Okay.
We have to shut our microphones. We have to shut our microphones.
Okay, just a second.
Dim our microphones here.
How do we
Can you
do it?
dim them here, our microphones?
No, I cannot.
Okay, then we have to switch them off here.
Yes. Okay, I will turn off
For the teams, which one is for the teams?
this one.
Okay, that's for the teams.
Okay, I will increase the sound. Okay. No.
That's true.
Okay, Damira, unfortunately, no, I'm going to have to figure out how to do these connections. Otherwise, we may not be able to talk to each other. Yes, so I will figure out this. Maybe in the next session, you will be able to speak.
He's there.
Yes, but they can see you, and you can see them. So we will talk more in the future. So this is Damirale. You can see him. He could not come because he's having his boy at home, and you know life in Finland. It's either you or your wife. Someone has to stay with the kid at home.
And there's one correction I have to make. His goal is to make a big film.
Big film.
Whole evening.
Ah,
film.
that's
He's
true.
been making films in Nigeria for the last 10 years. So he's a professional filmmaker, right? Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Damira, apologies for the technical failure. I believe we will sort this out someday soon. Yes. So
Can you show our video from YouTube?
yes, I can.
Just put it rolling without sound there. You can probably mute the sound.
Yeah, without any sound.
So let me ask you here. Among you, is someone of you making culture or art or content creation? Or some kind of creative work? Only you? You too? Three of you, okay. We have 3 more connections hopefully here. And we can discuss about it later.
And what if I probably have an interest? I've never done it maybe, and then wants to get to learn.
Okay. Okay. I'm willing to hear.
Because I know that for me, that's one of my passions, and that's with maybe videography, cameratography, and
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So,
And then we can also discuss where to study it here more. For instance, I am at the moment in a course of 15 learning points in a free course for Ingman Edu school, and you do everything online.
Okay.
I'm going to throw a curveball on this.
Sorry?
I'm going to throw a curveball on
Yes.
And maybe you can also tell us what have you been doing.
All right, it's a long story. I don't have the time. But
Let's give you a microphone.
now, it's not like art as in like canvas, and it's not digital art like social media. I take shit that's broken and I repurpose it into some other stuff. I have
That's creative.
thousands of followers on iFixit.
That's
If your stuff is broken, you won't find my name. I use a pseudonym. If you are in a tent in Africa or somewhere in India, I don't know where you are, and you put something on iFixit saying, I have this thing I found in a bin, or I have this device and it's broken. Now I have to try to figure out what tools and resources you have and what's your knowledge base, and try to figure out what's the easiest way for this person to get this thing to work. Now then I would say, like, we might not get it to work 100% as to what it used to be, but is there something else that you might need that we could make this into? So I pivot the whole iFixit thing, and I've had massive arguments with the leadership of iFixit about stuff that's going on.
That is creative work, and
That's
that
what I'm
is
saying,
something,
curveball, right?
curveball, and that is something new.
Yeah.
New compared to, like, this is new culture.
I said, yes.
To create something new from, or to mend things.
So I would
It's
say
more like mechanics or
well, like
fixing things, but yeah,
and
electronics, yes.
hardware. There was a guy that had a Volkswagen Kleinbus, 1972. He had it here in Kuopio. And my first project was when I was 16, I left high school. I renovated a Volkswagen Beetle from the ground up. I rebuilt the engine and I bored out the pistons. And this was before the internet. So I had to get all of this stuff out of books. So this guy from Spain, and he had this Kleinbus, they call it a hippie bus, and he wanted to make it electric. And I said, I bet you I could do that. And I did that for him as a project for fun.
Here,
In Kuopio.
I think I know the guy.
Yeah,
It's
Alex.
the only one.
Alex
here.
is a
Okay,
Spanish dude,
okay.
right. So I did that van for him, right?
That's great.
And basically, I had always wanted to do that, but I never had the financial resources to get all the hardware. So he was putting up all the hardware, and all I had to do was, I knew this Volkswagen infrastructure inside out. It's basically the same family, and I just figured it out. And then I also figured out a way that he could charge it for free. Don't tell anyone that.
Probably the sun.
Oh, that too, yes, of course.
Okay.
But anyway, look, so this is
Thank you.
true. That I think is a creative art.
In a way, it is. It's not what I thought first.
No, this
of
is really
collecting people, but
curveball, right?
yeah,
So,
it's
but
it's another
it's a
thing.
21st century art form,
Yes, that's true.
and one man's trash is another man's treasure.
That's true.
Right.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
And like I said, I have assisted people from like emerging economies, we'll call it a third world country. And literally, the guy in India said, look, I can't do this now because somebody else needs to use the phone. Because we're on this internet,
Yes.
right? So this was like a reality check, right? So this was quite really rewarding, actually, as an individual.
And I'd say that's a revolutionary international too.
Yeah, but
Really?
you won't find my real name. I use an
Still the idea is
but the concept,
revolutionary
yes.
international
and then
to work from here
Yeah,
all over the world.
yeah. So
So
iFixit pulled it down because iFixit's business model, and I know this, iFixit's leadership are ex-Apple engineers, and I'm an ex-Nokia engineer. So when it came to something to do with a handset, there was always this friction. No, that won't work. And so we did this in Nokia, and it worked fine. And we didn't do that in Apple. It was like this. So it was like this power struggle. And I'm basically saying, well, you forget about it.
but maybe you need someone to help you to make a small business out of that.
Well, this
Or
is
do you
emerging.
really have? Do you already have incomes from YouTube about it?
No, I don't. My digital footprint is like zero.
Okay.
Deliberately so.
Okay.
I use an old Nokia 10. This is the last phone I worked on. I use that because my internet access is really limited. I have an addictive personality. I would never leave it.
So
If
you
I need to-
you don't have a YouTube program for this thing, do you?
No.
On what
It's just
platform are you doing?
I would.
Like
I type like William Shakespeare.
between
I
just
write it, I write it.
between individuals.
Yes.
Okay. If you
Because I
if
don't
you-
want it's monetized if I put it out there.
Mm.
And if I can't monetize it, why would I want anyone else to monetize it? It doesn't mean you won't get your solution. I'll give it to you directly.
Mhm.
And that's basically how it is.
But then it's kind of more like a hobby, not a kind of a work thing. Or do you get paid for
No.
these advice?
Basically,
Thank you
this
so much for
particular
coming.
Device, I wanted to buy one. And this was a bug in that device.
Thank you so much for coming on.
on. Figuring out what his bug was. So that if I did buy the device and I did have this bug,
Yes,
I
yes.
would notice.
Yes,
So
but
they're
it's
like-
more like a hobby, but not a work in a
Dude,
way.
my whole house is a laboratory.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I suppose
I get it.
it's trending in continental Europe, the concept of a coffee shop, that you bring in a device and a group of individuals, like if you are a bit like this, and you go, oh, what's wrong with it? And well, it's,
We have them hack labs.
yeah, but this is
Hack lab-
but the
hack
hack lab
labs.
is a slightly different concept.
Yeah, but it's the
Yeah.
same idea, the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
family idea to come there together But it's also a kind of, they are societies which make it
Yes.
on behalf of hobby.
Yeah.
Nobody is earning there.
Yeah.
It's also in their rules.
Yet we all have to eat.
Yeah, but that is a kind of a
Yeah.
hobby surrounding. And we are aiming for jobs for people.
Or some
Even
sort of-
part-time jobs,
Yes.
or whatever professional thing to do to get money to support your living.
Yeah, I have to approach this a little bit like there's a software company in Tampere called Komu, and it's like what do I say this? It's like a favor sharing app.
Yes?
It's a favor sharing app.
Yes, yes.
Now they're doing really well because, for example, there are some state-sponsored bodies, and they're meant to invest so much of their capacity, be it human capital or financial capital, into some social programs, right? So what that means is like, I can't mention anyone's name. Let's say you're a company, and part of what your diversity, equity, and inclusion program is, which is what you've sold to your shareholders, is that we're going to invest 10% of our capital into after-school activities, or something as simple as that. Now, business has been pretty crap, and you're busy, and you don't have the human capital to give to this commitment that you made. So what they'll actually do is they'll outsource this to the Komu app. And then people will volunteer to do this. It's a bit of a nasty trick, but that's actually what, the point I'm making is, I believe in karma. And if I do you a favor today, somehow that's going to come back to me,
Yeah.
directly or indirectly. And that's what basically artists producing art without revenue is basically doing. It's basically for themselves, mostly, and to bring joy and new experiences to the people who dig their art, if that makes sense. People who can appreciate and acknowledge it. When I listen to music a lot, some of it, I might not like it, but I can appreciate it for what it is. Like if I play with guitars a lot. I don't play very well, I literally play with guitars. I modify them, and I'm always looking for that sound. So when I hear a piece of music, be it death metal from Norway, I might not really get it. It's not my cup of tea. But there could be elements in that piece of music.
Is this light hurting you? If I do, I have to point it up.
You're the photonics engineer.
I think I have to turn it off.
I got your point.
So
But we are in the.
We're in the spectrum at least.
We're in the spectrum.
Yeah,
yes.
or the
We're
same
in
solar
spectrum.
system, how's that?
So if you want to see our video, this is a pilot.
Right.
Our video is just a pilot. It's not the thing we are doing. We have to make it in a hurry, just to present the idea. And this is mostly me interviewing him,
Okay.
not telling much about myself. But we made this just before the Christmas, and we can put that link to the YouTube side of this.
Yes, I will put on the description.
Yes, on the
Yes,
description. Yes.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, so I will not put the sound now because of the
other-
noise.
Other questions, ideas here?
Actually, that as far I was planning, like I will make a video about Kuopio. Like it's not like any specific subject, just like scenery in summer, some cinematic shots, the city of Kuopio. That I was planning, and I also made one video in last Christmas market in my page, that Frame by Fahim, that one of my page. So I was like thinking that I will make 5 minutes or 4 or 3 minutes video, cinematic, without no voice, just background music or something. With this video I will give like some kind of, like one kind of visual poetry. One kind of visual poetry that I was planning to make. So if I want to make this kind of video, is it possible to get help from this group, like for audio section, or sometimes like
From which group?
from DEJU Kuopio?
You always ask help. I don't know the resources. Nobody is paying no one anything.
No,
We
no.
also have to also have to dig our job from somewhere.
Does this fall into
So,
that course that
but
you mentioned?
Sorry?
That course that you mentioned?
Yeah, well,
that might be a better fit.
Yeah, of course, that could be also a solution, to study more of it. And then within the studies, for instance, Ingman Edu is giving this kind of studies.
And it's like
So-
a few hours a week or something, is it? Or-
Depends on the courses.
Right.
I don't know that. But we can talk about it.
Okay.
We can talk about it.
Fantastic. I really,
He's also
I really love this discussion. This discussion was very brilliant, and what I can tell that are the benefits that you should be able to reap out of this discussion. I would mention them in three categories. Number one, which is critically important. I believe you have noticed. He has been here. So, are you finished?
I'm
If-
Irish.
You're Irish, okay. I was just asking to
No, it's okay, man.
be sure.
It's
Yeah.
all right. No, it's good.
Yes, and he's Finnish.
Ich bin eine Saberlein.
So, how long have you lived in Finland? 20
25 years.
Yes.
I missed the flight.
several times.
Okay,
No,
great.
because Nokia paid the flight, and it was 3 days after the Millennium New Year's Eve party, which lasted 3 days and 3 nights. So
Great.
I was late to the airport.
Great. So my point is, from the discussion, I hope you must have noticed that. Okay, it's like now. Let's put this like an imaginary level. So for foreign talents, we are here, and then we have the Finnish society plus other people who have been here for very long over here. It's uneasy as foreign talents to imagine that somehow things, they are already systematic up here. So you just come, please, I have a talent in videography. Would you give me an opportunity to work with you? But the truth is, there is also so much confusion and hardworking and really too much work going on here, which most of us we don't realize. So that's why at some point, if you come to him to ask for a job, he may say, please, I don't have any job to give to you. And we might think, oh, maybe he's not giving me a job because I'm foreign or because I'm an African. But the reality is the structure not so much clear. And so the point which they made up, for example, even discussing about the cause and also discussed about the association, is that at some point we have to take up an initiative to come up here, setting up our own things. Like as a photographer, now build your own stuff. Build something to make it as autonomous as possible if you can. There could be some people who are looking for opportunities, but most of the businesses, and of course I mentioned it on that post which contacted us, like most of the businesses, they are small businesses. Over 50% of all businesses, they are private trading businesses. The owner, like myself, I have a company, which is a private trader. I am the company, everything. So of course I'm hoping to do this videography also. I'm also into videography and something like that, but I'm not that good yet. But the way I do these things,
You don't get paid.
I don't get paid. So all these things, I have to, the camera here, there, the teams. This is what most business, what most of Finnish entrepreneurs do. Not because that's what they want, but because they don't have funds to do so. Yeah, previously, I believe the funds, they were also being given to most of the entrepreneurs, but nowadays, with the new government cutting funds in some of the places, even some of the entrepreneurs are affected who are, maybe they get funds from top. So that's another insight, I would say. It's not a challenge. It's an insight which we should take as foreign talents. Like, you don't have to go and look for a job, but you can create your own job by first knowing. For example, I would ask him, why are you maybe with, you said you used to be an engineer with Nokia.
I'm unemployed.
Okay, but you used to be an engineer with Nokia.
Yes, I was a global quality manager at Nokia.
And
I traveled the whole world.
And if I recall correctly,
When I moved
you
to
have been
Kuopio,
also a
it was the
journalist?
first thing I ever did.
Have you done journalism studies?
No, I work with startups and business developments and stuff. I do that in a pro bono. If you're a startup, I can't bill you. It would be wrong to bill you. You haven't got the capital.
Yes, yes.
So I'll do what's called sweat investing.
Okay.
I'll help you on your journey. We'll try to solidify and distill down what it is you're trying to do. And basically sometimes a problem shared is a problem halved. So maybe we don't move your idea any further, but you're going crazy at home with this idea that nothing is happening. So basically even just sharing that with someone else actually makes you feel a bit better. Even though you haven't moved further on your journey, as an individual, your sanity is remaining intact, right? So this is what I work with a lot.
Great.
I mean, I've been dealing with people all over this country, and I tell people in this place who, I don't tell people here who I'm networking with. Because you said, you mentioned some institutions or entities that you've been in discussion with.
Yes.
What you need to be mindful of is they're actually funded.
That's
to do
true.
this.
That's true.
And if you offer this for free, they've been paid to do nothing at all.
That's very
Right?
true.
And I'm more than mindful of that.
That's
so
true.
it's like a big massive this. Thank you.
That's true.
Honestly.
Okay.
Because you will just be suckered. And it's happened to me many occasions.
Okay,
So
so
we both go to a gig, you've offered to do it for free, and I'm billing them 700 euros for an afternoon of talking crap.
okay,
that's what happens.
but I have a different perspective.
I know, but I'm telling you, you haven't lived it yet, man. It's just in front of you. Maybe
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
blind to see. But, all said, so I would say that if we were a collective here, and this was a...
Sorry, we have to finish in
Yeah.
about 5 minutes.
So, if you want to be in a startup hub, for example, you've got ideas, or we're just trying to figure out what could be the next big thing. Now, you might have an idea, but yet you don't have an idea, you don't have an idea, you don't have an idea, I might be able to help you with something. The idea is that if you don't have an idea, help someone who does. So we pool our resources.
You see that, and that was the point I was about also to give.
We pool our resources to help him get this.
That
thing
was
over
the point.
finish line.
That was the point.
Because he's got something that's really good. This might work. So I don't have any ideas right now. Neither do you. So we just say, well, let's just help him. If you don't have an idea, help someone who does.
That's the answer.
Right. So underneath all of this eventy thing, we're kind of like. We're not trying to kind of create this polarized them and us kind of thing, but at least we have a network that we can reach out to.
Yes.
And, you know, if you don't have the answer to the question, how many times have you asked a question to somebody here and they say, I don't know? I've been in institutions and entities and I'll ask a person behind the desk, how could I do this, this, or this? And they'll say, oh, I don't know. And I got sick and tired of that. So one day I said, how could I do this? And the person behind the desk said, I don't know. I said, excuse me, you're sitting in a building that does this. Now, between me and you, which of you do you think might be more likely or easier to find out the answers to my questions? She goes, well, I don't know, I just work here. I said, okay, we're getting somewhere. So we've moved from I don't know to I just work here.
Yeah.
I said, could you please park this question in the back of your head, and then the next time at your coffee machine upstairs, ask someone.
Yeah.
And if you do
Yeah.
get an answer, can you reach back out to me? She goes, that's a good idea. And I said, "Oh,
Fantastic.
Eureka."
Fantastic.
Eureka.
So this was actually my point. This was actually my point that, and this is what I believe the talent mindset thing is all about. Delivering value. We discussed with you when we met in the class. Like, we have to live from the mindset of we are seeking for help to the mindset of helping someone. So the example, the reason I asked you was that, for example, you could ask him, so with all that, why are you not employed? And then, of course, with the big story, but at the last point, I believe he will tell you the reasons. He will say, maybe, for example, I don't have people, I don't have money to pay people to run a business. Just assuming.
I can give you this in 2 minutes.
Yes.
Right? There is a fundamental difference between a small and medium-sized enterprise, SME,
Yes.
and an innovation-driven entrepreneurship. Innovation-driven enterprises have different needs than an SME.
Okay.
So, for example, you're now an SME, you're a restaurant owner.
Yes.
Right? What is your idea of expansion? It might be you need to just buy 1 more table and 4 more chairs and put them over there.
Yes.
Now, that's your idea of expansion. Now, this guy here is an innovation-driven enterprise, and he's got, like, we'll call you Deep Seek. So he's working on something crazy, AI. Now, most people on the planet don't get what he's at. But the people that do have invested in it. So the next step in his journey could be an investment of 100 million euros, or it will not work.
Yes.
So there were very different needs between SNEs and IDEs.
Okay.
Now, me doing what I do is close to your photonics thing, actually.
Okay.
Most people here did not get it. Nordia got it, but they wouldn't invest in it because they said, if it lasts as long as you say it will, there's no repeat business. This was 6 years ago. But now we've gone pivoted on this. We want things to last longer. We want them to be repairable. We want them to be like, you can buy spare parts.
Yes,
So
yeah.
all of the things that I had 6 years ago ticked all of those boxes that are valid today, but they weren't valid. But, you know,
There was not valid then, yeah.
so IDE, innovation-driven enterprises, are capital intensive. They won't be profitable for quite some time.
I see.
So I'm unemployed and I take the check and I just keep working on it. That's why.
good. That's good. But let's give a
Sorry.
place to talk for the other ones. Thank you very much.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
That was insightful.
Any other questions or ideas which you would like to ask or anything?
I think for me, I think it's good that I came here because, you know, it's somehow, and I think that's one of the benefits of having to hang out with people from different backgrounds because it keeps your mind open to, you know, world of, I mean, some kind of a mega trend, really. I was just going through one of my topics in school a few days ago, and I, you know, learned about mega trend, where there's like a shift, you know, from whatever is happening in our society in the meantime, and you like whatever you were doing and you were comfortable doing, you somehow kind of switch over to what is in vogue. And I seem to be like, in quote, maybe different from my own background. It was like more into medicine and stuff like that. But haven't heard, you know, people speak, and I'm like, well, this is, you can also marry medicine together with innovative, I don't want to use the word electronic, but sorry, the right word to use is what I'm trying to find out. Maybe
Physics?
AI, for instance, maybe
Technology.
Technology. I think that's just the right word. That's the word I was actually looking for. Yeah,
Technology.
you know, yeah, bringing technology and then marrying it with medicine. I mean, having a passion for videography, like I said. I mean, kind of switching. And thank you for even accepting, you know, talking about, like, I could have a platform where I learn, and, you know, if you want to have that switch, you can have a platform to learn and, you know, have the switch. And that's amazing for me, I think, the whole meeting. And I would like to really know more about the courses, and like you mentioned, since most of them are online, what do I need to do? How do I need to do I need to pay for it and stuff like that, so as to, you know, grab that? I mean, if that's one of the things I gained coming to Finland, you know, that would be a plus, I would say. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Interesting.
By the way,
Yes.
my LinkedIn is not really working right now. We're connected. If you get up on LinkedIn, or do you just take this, please reach out and connect with me, and I'd be really honored, and it'd be a great privilege to kind of read. Do you have a LinkedIn profile, Harry?
Yeah,
And is it Rahim?
Fahim.
Fine.
Fahim.
So I don't, my glasses are, oh yes, it's an F.
F-A-H-I-M.
I spell it phonetically. Yeah. But do you have a LinkedIn profile?
Yes.
Please reach out and connect, and I'll be honored, because this is, like I said, my digital detox phone.
And this is how you grow connection. You grow your network.
Yeah, no, go here.
And you can find Ezekiel Kuopio.
Actually, just to inform you,
Sorry, you have
just to inform you, Fahim and and Harry and Harry Peter, they are my mentees under Talent Hub.
okay, you are already.
Yes, so we know each other.
Sorry.
I think the internet is... Anyway, that picture on my LinkedIn profile, that's me standing on the stage in front of Konkitalo to a bunch of people who didn't know anything about solar panels.
So
I have to talk to you about stuff. Because
I'm actually thinking we have to talk at some point because you have been speaking.
I was displaced engineer, Nokia, optics and photonics.
Okay.
Like the touch elements, and then I moved into different fields and
So you
stuff.
have to find
And Jyrki Saarinen,
yourself
the
at
professor.
Yes.
Yeah, well, we worked with him way back in 2002 with camera modules when he was the CEO of Optical.
Okay.
And how he bailed out and sold that whole company for almost just shy of $1
Let
billion.
me Google some.
Anyway, yes.
Oh, okay.
We have a lot to
got
discuss
notification,
about.
just like that.
Is this room out for
Oh,
votes
yeah, please.
until what time?
Until 4, but normally the whole office have to be closed by 4, so which means we have to close by now.
Or is it not 6?
No, it's
Didn't they not do
4.
an
That's
extended day here before?
no. I think it's in some of the
That
days.
was when it was just Navigaattori and not the TV.
It's some of the days they extended to 6, but I really don't know when. Yeah.
Shall we close
Yes.
the meeting and then we can discuss a little bit more? Can you
Yes.
tell regards to everyone? Thanks.
Yes. So thank you everybody for joining. Today we had our session Talent Mindset, and it's the first time which I'm sharing this live on TikTok and of course YouTube. Looking forward to share more. The main reason is to help international talents in Finland, and particularly in Kuopio. How can we create value and how can we contribute to society? Last but not least, how can we benefit by our talents? That's the biggest motive that we are doing our best to achieve, and I believe we will achieve. Today we had a discussion. I believe you have seen the whole group, and so it was really an insightful discussion. We are not meeting next week. Next week we will have a break, but if you are following the social media, Facebook or LinkedIn, you will see some pages. Page called Talent Mindset. I normally publish there if we are meeting and who is coming to speak and something like that. Yes, you also have something to tell us.
Yes, hello everyone. And concerning our Kuopio is international, meidän Kuopiomme on kansainvälinen. Please check our YouTube publishing about it. Meidän Kuopiomme on kansainvälinen. You can probably have Juuso Happonen's channel there, and in the description you have our emails where you can contact us if you get interested. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right.
Sorry, I have to go, so
Yes, and we have wrapped up. Thank you so much for coming.
thank you.
I will try to call a meeting to meet on Friday 7th. Yes, just us. Yes, at the main library. So I will send an email and then maybe we can meet and discuss more. Mostly I would like to discuss more about what we discussed today so that you know what are the things for me. I've seen so many opportunities, so many things to gain from the discussion that was made here. Yeah, so
Can I
we'll
take
check.
a selfie?
Please, and you will send me the picture, please. Take a video.
Tripod, then you can actually be in the picture.
Yuso, can we take a selfie?
Prop your phone up against one of these things and
Connecting this out now. Can you stop? Can you stop the YouTube?
Yes.
At once?
Okay, just a second. Let me stop the live stream.
I haven't asked your opinion on this.
That's on LinkedIn.
Yes, please.
Essentially, I don't want
Okay.
to-